Good morning. That's quite ironic, isn't it? Do not feed the horses. All 160 of them. There we go. It's the first chance I've had to play on it since I put the Zard on, and also since I put the sticker on. I know it's a bit childish, but hey, why not? So, just want to do a little talk about braking, because a lot of people seem to be a bit confused about what brake does what and how. So let's just do a brief talk. On this particular bike, it's got ABS. So let's talk about ABS and get that out of the way. ABS is not a miracle cure. It will not stop you falling off a bike. What ABS will do is stop the wheel from completely locking up. It will lock, sense, let go, lock, sense, let go, and so on. It depends on the bike being upright or only up to a few degrees. If you look at some of these road racers as they come off a bike, the wheels are spinning and they're still spinning as they come off. So ABS wouldn't help, would it? Think of ABS as a last resort. Once all else has failed, you're hoping that ABS will help you. So if you're in a straight line and you anchor everything on, then there's less chance of you coming off due to the ABS looking after your mistake. But if you're already banked over on a roundabout and grab the brakes, then you will still come off with ABS. When people comment, well, you don't need ABS, it takes away the skill of the rider, that's like saying I don't need an airbag in my car because I'm not going to crash. At the end of the day, the airbag is there for when all else fails, and hopefully it'll save you. And it's the same with ABS. If you're good enough with your brakes and you can ride your bike okay, then the ABS can stay there and you should never need to use it. Right, braking. As your bike's travelling along, you've got the weight evenly distributed, and when you close your throttle off, the weight will slightly go forwards, compressing the suspension. As it compresses the suspension, your weight distribution starts to go forwards, which means that the back end is slightly lifting. If you put your front brake on, more weight goes onto the front and your tyre starts to dig into the road. Now when you see the upload I did of Jeff coming off, the reason he came off so quickly is because he went 100% immediately and he didn't give this tyre a chance to start gripping into the road. So at the moment there's about probably 5 or 6 millimeters, let's say for argument's sake, I'm not exactly accurate on this, on the floor. As you start to put your brake on and the weight goes forward, then that contact patch compresses and increases the resistance of the tyre on the road. So it actually helps the tyre grip. So when you do the emergency stop, you start to brake over a period of time and eventually put more brakes on as you go, if that makes sense. I know I'm exaggerating it here, but you don't just go bang. That's when people come off. It's throttle, start, increase, increase, increase. Your front brake is a main stopping brake. Your back brake is mainly a control brake. So personally, at higher speeds, I will be using around 75-80% front, about 20% rear, approximately. In the wet, I even it out to about 50-50. A couple of other people have commented that they prefer to use the back first to let it settle, and then it doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as what you do starts off gently and allows the tyre to grip. At very slow speeds, I never use my front brake, because I like total throttle control, and then the back brake will drag the bike to a nice smooth stop. In an emergency, people have been commented about they only use the back brake. That is wrong. Okay, there are different ways of doing things. If you want to put your back brake on first in the wet, that's great. But you do not use just your back brake in an emergency stop. All you're going to end up doing is skidding into whatever it is that you're trying to avoid. Again, look at the road racers. They're always a good example of things because it's more extreme. They use the front brakes coming up to stops in the wet. Nobody can stop quicker than the racer. So why not use the front brake with a tiny, tiny little bit of rear? But remember, the most important thing is not necessarily how hard you brake, but how you apply the brakes, okay? Well, I hope this has helped you understand a little bit more. What I'm going to do now is just go for a little play. That is so beautiful. I know some of you think it's ugly, but it's just a work of art, an absolute work of art. That could do with being a little bit wider. I seem to sink into it a little bit there. Right, keyless ignition. Oh, I just do a sound off of this Zard as well. That is so loud, it's ridiculous. God, this bike feels good. Ah, body weight on the inside there. Oh, somebody's reversing a lorry there. Beep, beep, beep. Attention, this bus is reversing. Oh, this sounds fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Cossell. Lovely village. Okay, why didn't you sound your horn, Russ? Because there wasn't really a problem. Even if they'd have pulled out, I could have stopped. What's that? That is awful. I mean, stop spraying. People never set up their spray jets, do they? National speed limit. That really does sound fantastic. If you ever get to the end of a road that you think was really good, turn around and do it the other way. It's a completely different road. Get your motor running. Oh, this sounds so nice. Also, I've not noticed the seat being uncomfortable at all. That Super Plus unleaded does the job in this bike as well. Even though it's a couple of pence a litre extra, it's certainly worth the money. Just try and run your bike on 2 tanks of this Super Plus unleaded, the high octane stuff. You'll be surprised. And when you go back to the standard regular unleaded, you'll think there's something wrong with your bike. Because remember I told you that this had a fuel injection mapping issue? Doesn't have it now. That's as smooth as silk, just because of that extra couple of octanes in the fuel. I do like this bike. I've got my summer gloves on, got my summer jacket on, and I'm freezing.